If you're a Detroit Lions fan, you love undrafted free agents. Like we have had some undrafted free agents that have come on and just given some great help to our teams over the year. And I think of guys like maybe it's Tom Kennedy, everybody's favorite wide receiver. And there are so many undrafted free agents, even right now, that are part of what we're doing on this team. I think of guys like that are in the developmental process, like Obina Eze and Demetrius Taylor and Derek Deese and Greg Ball. And there are so many more. Every team gets 15 of them. And here's what you want to look for with undrafted free agents. There are certain things. One is fit. Like, how do they fit the culture? How do they fit the scheme? Does it make sense for the team right now? For example, what position is it at? How deep are we at that position? Do we have anybody coming to the end of a contract year? Were there any recent suspensions? Things like that. That is one thing you can look at. The other one is, did they just go under the radar? Like, were they very productive? Sometimes guys who are just straight productive continue to be productive. Another thing that you can look for is guys that are just overlooked. Maybe they weren't in a system that worked well for them, or maybe they had some lack of talent around them that didn't allow their production to be as good. There's a lot of different things in a lot of different ways that people can be found through this, but sometimes you just need to look and you see tape of somebody and you're just like, how did they miss that? Like, how is this guy not drafted? And I got one for you. And his name is Chase Cota. Chase Cota is a wide receiver from Oregon. Now, he played 4 years at UCLA. His numbers were not eye-popping in any way, shape, or form. In his first 4 years at UCLA, he had 13, 25, 11, and 18 receptions. Highest season was 350 yards receiving. And then he went to Oregon, where he caught 36 balls for 500 yards, 497 to be exact. But I started watching the film on this guy, and I was like, where has he been my whole life? And I was like, this guy looks skilled, and he runs in the slot. He has tight routes. He ran short routes. He was really good after the catch. They liked using him in bubble screens. He ran intermediate routes, and he ran long routes. So I started asking myself, like, this guy seems like a pretty good athlete. Honestly, it reminded me a lot of Tom Kennedy, but it seemed like he was a better athlete. And I think that's kind of what the Lions are getting here. That's the top level thing here, is a better, more athletic version of Tom Kennedy, also bigger. So here's his RAS. And this is what is just crazy to me, because usually players who come in with a good or high RAS get drafted, wide receivers with that. He ranks as the 220th most athletic receiver ever to come out since 1987. Are you kidding me right now? There's only 150 some in the league right now. He's 6 foot, and he's 6'3". He's tall. Like, he's tall, if I'm reading that right. It's just nuts to me. He weighs 200 pounds. He's got good weight to him. No, he doesn't bench that much. Who cares? He's a wide receiver. He has a good enough 40-yard dash. It's a 4.51. Anybody who's under that 4.5 range, like that 4.6, 4.7, you're starting to talk about a guy who might be able to take the top off. So he has speed that is faster than Amon Ra St. Brown, just in case you were wondering. But Amon Ra St. Brown has great speed on tape. He has great game speed. And so does this guy. He's quick. The 20-yard split is good. The shuttle and the 3-cone were very good, very respectable. And the vertical and broad jump were good. Like, what is going on here? Like, what is going on here? Good enough hand size, good enough arm length. Overall, just good grades. So here is a guy, and he has the measurables. When you watch him on tape, it looks good. I don't know how clean his route running is, because he played, all the highlights were from Oregon, and they didn't have a lot of distinct routes, but he was running a lot of them out of the slot. And so he was running, like I said, long, medium, intermediate. And right now, even as I do this and as I'm talking to you, I'm watching highlights of him. I can't show you the highlights because it goes against YouTube laws, right? But I'm watching this guy and he's making people miss on all different ways. He has contested catches. He's coming back to the ball when his quarterback is in trouble. He has bubble screens where he's making people miss tackles. He's bouncing off defenders. He looks like he has some of the skills. There's a nice in route, and then he moves quickly in and out of cuts once he catches the ball. He is just one of those guys that looks good while playing. I don't understand how he didn't have more production in college. There, he just took a bubble screen to the house from 60 yards out. And he outran everybody on the defense. And you're like, man, this guy has some speed. And it just makes you wonder what he would have done if he was at Oregon his entire career and where he would be as a wide receiver, because the dude has some absolute skills. So why do we care about Chase Cota? Right? Our wide receiver room is fine, right? We've got Reynolds, we've got Jones, we've got Amon Ra St. Brown, we've got Kallif Raymond. We're good. We got Jameson Williams. But Jameson Williams is gone for 6 games. And Quintez Cephas has been released by the team. Tom Kennedy's still there. He's still there. Alexander is still there. There are players that are there. I'm just saying, I think Cota has the chance to come in and be a guy that could be like the 6th receiver, something along those lines. Maybe a practice squad guy that you keep and he ends up being better. I'm telling you right now, I think Cota has the potential to be a bigger version. I think he has the ability to be a bigger version of Tom Kennedy. I'm excited about it. He didn't get a lot of slot, ability to line up on the outside, and this could be a complete miss. I don't know exactly, right? It could be. And I also know that we invested a little bit more, but I didn't ever say this. I know Antoine Green is probably a better, more polished receiver right now on the outside. Cota's the guy on the inside. And it would not surprise me if I know Lions fans will hate to hear this, if he takes the role that Tom Kennedy's been playing. And one of the other things is the Lions gave him $80,000. And I never said what the last thing was for what you look for in undrafted free agents, who gets the most guaranteed money. And if you're giving him the guaranteed money similar to what you would be giving a 7th round type of pick, you have a pretty high belief that he's good. And you wanted to make sure he came into your training camp versus a different training camp because you wanted eyes on him. You wanted to give him the opportunity to make your team. So you're willing to put out money because you think there's a good chance that he will. So let's keep our eyes on Chase Cota because I think he could be a player. I also am going to be doing a video on Antoine Green because he has some speed and some ability to play that natural X position that I think could actually be kind of our 5th receiver type of deal. And it could really help us on our team, especially before Jameson gets back. So, hey, that's all I got. Let me know. Go watch the film on this guy, Chase Cota highlights, and let me know what you think. If you think it's just a speed and space thing where he's looking good, or if you think he actually has the ability to be a good wide receiver. Again, I think out of the slot, he could have a chance. All right. See you on the next one.